Hello, and welcome to Global Data Themes Instant Insights. At Global Data, we define a theme as something that keeps a CEO awake at night, as businesses that invest in important themes will succeed, and those that don't will fail.
Hello, and welcome back to Instant Insights. I'm Sarah Coop, and today I'll be talking to Jemima Walker from Global Data's Thematic Intelligence team, and she'll be sharing some insights from her recent report, Robotics in Healthcare. Hi, Jemima. Thanks a lot for coming on.
Hi, Sarah. Hi.
So, firstly, Jemima, can you tell me what are some of the challenges that have been facing the healthcare industry recently, and how can robotics help to address this?
Well, robotics can really help to address some of the sort of really key challenges facing healthcare. So, for example, for the COVID-19 pandemic, there were things from cleaning robots providing an extra line of defense in hospitals, sort of to sanitize rooms and reduce transmission rates. Drones were used to deliver urgent medical supplies and vaccines to sort of remote locations lacking supply chain infrastructure, and this will continue following the COVID-19 pandemic. And it's also industrial cobots help to sort of quickly analyze swab results in hospital settings. And actually, another funny example is nose swabbing robots, where it sort of reduces the transmission rate for nurses, although it does sound a little bit scary in my opinion. And then the other idea is for sort of ESG purposes, cleaning robots, as I mentioned, can sort of reduce water usage. So they use UV instead. And autonomous mobile robots and drones obviously replace traditional vehicles, so reduce greenhouse gas emissions. And the final sort of big challenge that robots will help to sort of face is demographic changes. So considering the sort of aging populations and strained social welfare budgets that many countries are going to be facing, robots will help to make up for an increased demand, which is going to coincide with sort of continued staff shortages, which are expected. So care robots will carry out sort of nursing tasks, freeing up nurses for sort of other important roles. Surgical robots for minimally invasive surgery will reduce hospital stay lengths, improve patient outcomes, and inevitably free up hospital beds so we can sort of cope with higher demand.
Yeah, some really kind of key challenges there within the healthcare industry. And it's interesting to see how all these different robots can kind of help to address those. So now that you've outlined all of the ways that robots can help, I'm interested, is there a high barrier to entry with these? And is there kind of any opportunities for making these robots cheaper in healthcare?
Well, yeah, the sort of price of medical robots is really the reason they're not more widespread than they are at the moment. It's the reason that North America is a much larger market and is expected to be so into 2030, according to global data forecasts. For example, in Europe, where public healthcare systems dominate, the technology is just out of reach for most, with sort of governments having very strict regulated spending for healthcare. But the good news is that the price of surgical robots will decrease. Essentially as the underlying technology sort of price decreases and improves, and as we get new competitors sort of entering the market with cheaper alternatives. At the moment, we've got some really big sort of players in medical robots. So, for example, Intuitive Surgical, Stryker. But, there's a really high activity in capital raising with smaller companies rising through the ranks. An example is SS Innovations. They're actually an Indian medical device startup, and they're sort of pioneering cost-effective surgical robots to improve patient access in India and reduce India's dependence on sort of imported, expensive surgical robotic systems. So this will help to sort of, increase adoption worldwide.
Interesting, and level the playing field and increase adoption, as you say. Perfect. So your report covers the healthcare, medical devices industries, but it also covers pharma. So I'm interested, what area of pharmaceuticals will robotics be most disruptive in?
Well, particularly in manufacturing, deploying robots in pharmaceutical manufacturing will really lead to huge enhancements beyond productivity increases. So improving compliancy, consistency, and operational excellence. Robots in drug manufacturing isn't a new theme. There's examples from 2007 with AstraZeneca, but it is progressing, and particular focus is being placed in new areas, for example, in cell therapy. So a great example ongoing is Thermo Fisher, Charles River Labs, Cytiva, and UCSF are sort of in a consortium with Multiply Labs, and they're sort of really working on automating the cell therapy manufacturing process with robotics, in particular cloud robotics. And manufacturing is one of the real key barriers for cell therapy. So this could be really game changing for the industry.
Interesting. Thanks for that. And finally, final question, what is the future of robotics in healthcare, and where do you personally see this going?
Well, the future of robotics in healthcare is really exciting. Surgical robots will be able to complete more complex procedures, some of which we aren't even able to do today, offering hope for patients. The care robotics market will have grown at a 42% CAGR, and they'll basically be cast more as companions, providing emotional support rather than seen as tools. In pharmaceuticals, in drug manufacturing, robots enhanced with AI will be programmed to adjust their performance, achieving optimal productivity and efficiency. And finally, the most exciting one, I think, is the micro robot sort of market. This could be revolutionary, and it could be behind breakthrough treatments, particularly in neurology conditions. For example, micro robots could be directed into the brain for minimally invasive surgery. Some great work ongoing by Bionaut Labs here, where they're using sort of micro robots to pierce cysts in the brains of those suffering from Dandy-Walker syndrome. And in another study, they're actually working with Candel Therapeutics to directly deliver oncolytic viruses to brain tumors. And that space actually potentially even more exciting is in the Asia Pacific region, where you've got South Korea and China really investing in this space. So, yeah.
Wow, yeah, very futuristic, but very exciting. So thank you very much, Jemima, for those instant insights. Thank you everyone for listening, and from us at Global Data Thematic Intelligence, see you next time.